Welcome in. I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures, flying solo today. Amy is at work, so you're stuck with me. Uh, we have a ton of stuff. I've got 80 lots in the catalog. So if you see anything, take a look at that. And if you see anything you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat and I will get right to it. Hey, thanks for coming in support. Let's see who all we do have in here. Hey, Rochelle 56. Thea's Knickknacks, Sunrise, Aunt Tiki, DeBorg, 332, Lisa Ann 7, curated by Teresa, Wafa 1889. Thank you so much for coming in. As I mentioned, I am Stuart. I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. In addition to Knickknacks, I also have 3 antique booths here in the Knoxville area. So if you ever come through, make sure you stop by and see me. I'm at Bearden Antique Mall, West End Antiques, both on the west side of Knoxville, and then I'm also at Granny's Attic in Clinton, Tennessee. Um, so once again, if there's any requests, put them in the chat. We'll get started here in just a second. Um, I will mention I'm still having technical issues with my, which is where you have to run everything from. So I can't type anything, so I can't search for items like to bring them up quickly. So if you do request something, I've just got to scroll through the store to find it. So it takes me a second. It's not too bad. But for anybody watching on Facebook or YouTube, I always have to spell this out. So I just printed it out. Come on over to knickknacks.net and click on live streams, and then you can join in the fun, the bidding, and the shopping part. If not, if you just want to watch, you're good over on Facebook or YouTube. Hey, welcome in Alpine Treasures, Lindsay Burrow, and Greed 23, Big Chunky B. Thanks for coming in. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'll just start with whatever shows up, I guess, first in my catalog, so I don't have to scroll. But as I mentioned, if you have any requests at all, write them down. I'll write them down. We'll get to those as soon as we can. And let's get started. Appreciate everybody coming in. So let me see what comes up first when I go to the store to bring to the stage. So it's going to be lot 80. And let me move that to stage. And this is going to be 4 Mercedes-Benz postcards. Oh, let me just show you kind of what all we have here real quick before we get started. Let me flip the camera around. So everything here, everything over there. And if we turn around backwards here, all the stuff on the table here, some old Newsweek magazines, some old newspapers from the 70s, these cool Disney die cuts, and then everything in this, that's where the majority of the stuff is. So I try to stay organized so I can get through this stuff quickly. As I mentioned, we got 80 lots that we can go through today. It's kind of a combination of stuff that I didn't get to my last show because we ran out of time, and then some new things I added. It's probably about half and half. So anyway, let me find lot 80 here and we will get started. I guess I'll try. I mean, I've kind of flip-flop back and forth whether to face the camera or do things from behind. Sometimes ephemera is easier to show, like if you have the camera facing backwards. But I'll tell you what, for now, let's keep it frontward facing, and I'll see if I can show it that way. If there's certain things that might work better to flip the camera around, then we will. So the first thing we're going to run, hey, welcome in Wise Wilson Janice. S. Walker 1220. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Anybody else I've missed? I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures, and we are doing all vintage and antique ephemera today. So this is in the original envelope. I'm not sure exactly how old these are. I mean, I don't think they're like terribly old, maybe 70s or 80s. I couldn't find a date anywhere, but inside the envelope here, I feel like I'm announcing the Academy Award, and the winner is... So we have these 4 Mercedes-Benz postcards. They're all unposted. Got some really cool graphics here. This says Benz 1888. I guess that's what a Mercedes-Benz looked like in 1888. I'll just show you the back of one. They all, as I mentioned, are unposted. Hey, Candyland Curiosities, thanks for stopping by. Everybody make sure you check her out. She does a lot of good shows on here as well. I'm not sure when you're going live again, but feel free to put that in the chat. In fact, if anybody's got an upcoming show, feel free to put that in the chat. And I mean, this is such a great community, and I think you know, we all need to help each other out, promote each other, especially such a new platform. But I've really enjoyed being on Knickknacks so far. So that was the first one. Let me see if I can get these apart. Here's the next one. This says the Mercedes-Benz 300S. Looks like a very 50-ish or 40-ish scene maybe. Everybody's dressed up real nice. Be kind of nice if everybody dressed up like they used to. I know when you used to fly, everybody wore their Sunday best just to get on the airplane. And of course now, and I'm guilty, but you're wearing your hoodie or whatever on the airplane and nobody looks as good, but hey, we're comfortable though. And then this is a Mercedes from 1904. So you've got that one. So Simply Old Stuff is Friday at 4:45 Eastern Time with the Vintage Variety Show. Hey, Purple Haze, thanks for coming in. By the way, Purple Haze, I just checked the tracking on your package from our last show. It looks like it cleared customs, so we're good there, and it's in Canada now. So hopefully you'll get that pretty soon. I think yours is the last package that to be delivered. And then this is my favorite one. It's these people racing their Mercedes on the beach, and these poor seagulls are like just getting obliterated. Little bit of a morbid subject for the card, but hey, they're really cool though. So anyway, and I also forgot to mention everything today, if you're in the USA, it's free shipping. So whatever you bid, that's what you'll pay other than tax. I have no control over that. If you are in Canada, it's going to be $12.99 for the first item and $1 for every item after that. And if you happen to, if there happens to be shipping overage that you pay, I will refund that when I go to ship things out. So basically, you'll pay whatever I pay in shipping is what will end up happening. So just real quick, and I think I switched most of my auctions to 15 seconds so I can spend more time showing, and then when we run it, it'll just be ready to run. So this is going to be a $6 start. So I will go ahead and get this one started. Yep, this one's set for 15 seconds, and it is running. So you have that one. My favorite, the seagulls with the Mercedes racing on the beach. As mentioned, these are all unused. 3 seconds left, and it looks like, all right. That was Alpine Treasures. Took that one. Thank you so much. And everything should ship out tomorrow. I try to ship everything next day. I don't think I have anything that would keep me from shipping out tomorrow. I am a full-time reseller. Also do some IT consulting for hospitals on the side, but for the most part, I'm home all the time, so I don't have anything better to do than sit and list stuff, ship stuff, look at cool ephemera. For anybody who's new to ephemera, I'll just warn you, it's very, very addictive. There's so many stories that can be told with all the ephemera stuff. I am living the life. I love all kind of antiques and vintage items. I do a lot of glassware. My wife calls me the China King of Knoxville because I sell so much China. But really, ephemera is my passion just because, it's just so freaking cool. Whether it's old letters, old photos, just anything, the stories that can be told. Like, for example, I have no idea what's even in this. At some point during the show, we'll run this. It's this vintage tin that had crayons in it, but it was just stock full of paper stuff. And I took a glance at it. There were some recipes, like handwritten notes, things like that, but who knows what's in there. So we'll run that in a little bit. So let me just see what comes up next, and we'll go ahead and run that. Hey, welcome in, Susie, California. I've already said hello to, no, I haven't said hello to Afternoon Antique Company, I don't think. Welcome in, and thanks for stopping by. Dee Damone, anybody else that I've missed. So let me go ahead and see what comes up next. As I mentioned, I do have some technical issues with my phone. District support is working hard to try to get them fixed. I can run shows from my wife's phone without any issues, but if I try to type something on my phone, it completely locks the live up. So just real quick again, if you're watching over on Facebook or on YouTube, you can come over to knickknacks.net and join in on the fun and bid and everything. So, oh, okay. Yeah, just no worries on the expired payment. I'm sure it will take care of itself at some point. Let's see here. So let me look and see what's next. So next we will run, let's do lot 53. I thought this was pretty cool. Don't really know a whole lot about this item. Let me reach back into your box of stuff. So this is, and I don't know if anybody's ever tried this ice cream or not. I love ice cream and I like Bing Crosby, okay, but I've never seen the combination of the two. But it's this Bing Crosby ice cream carton. I don't know if it was ever used or not, but it is folded up. It doesn't appear to have been used, but well, there's a little wear if you look on the tabs. Tell you what, let me take it out of this envelope so we don't get the glare. And y'all let me know in the chat too, in addition to taking requests, just put the lot number in the chat and I'll get to it. But I also tend to spend a lot of time talking about these things because, as I mentioned, I think ephemera stuff's so cool. So if you want me to speed up or slow down, or or if you think I'm okay, just give me the thumbs up. But I do tend to talk about these things probably a little more than people talk about their vases or their glassware. And as mentioned, I love glassware as well and anything old, but ephemera is my passion. So not sure what year this is from, but it was from Valley Farms, and it looks like that is in, I'm not sure where Valley Farms is. It was manufactured under license of Bing Crosby ice cream sales. So it was like his own, I guess his own ice cream. Maybe he leased his name out to different dairies and such. So you can see it wasn't like a huge thing of ice cream here. The folded up, this thing is just over almost 9 inches. You can see that. So I guess that's probably all there is to say about that. So we'll go ahead and start it. And another 15-second auction. This one does have an $8 start. Everything's free shipping if you live in the USA. So here we go. Oh, thank you, Purple Haze. Yeah, I mean, I like people to know what they're getting, and I have no idea where I got this. It was probably just in like a box of stuff. I buy so many boxes of stuff. In fact, one of the first live shows that I ever did, it was on another platform that I had bought, oh golly, it was like 5 boxes. And when I say boxes, I'm not talking about little boxes. These were moving size boxes. I think they were like 18 by 14 by 14 or something crazy like that. So they were huge. They were huge, huge boxes. But anyway, I opened these. I had no idea what was in them. The guy gave me such a good price. He said, if you take them sight unseen, I'll sell them to you for this. I was like, okay. So I brought them home and I didn't even look at them. And I just ran this live show, and we did it over, I think it was 4 days. And we opened those boxes. And it was the most exciting thing I've ever done. Maybe that says I live a boring life if that's the most exciting thing I've ever done. But no, it was really cool. And man, there were like complete sets of cigarette cards from the early 1900s. There were all kind of like antique labels, both cigar and fruit from the 1800s. There was just so much cool stuff. I mean, it ended up being a really good deal for me. And I mean, everybody who was in the shows got a great deal as well. So anyway. All right, so no interest in the Bing Crosby. Tell you what, let me make sure I haven't missed anything in the chat. As I mentioned, if you're just coming in, if you see anything you want me to run, I didn't put anything in the buy it now, mainly so I wouldn't have as much stuff to scroll through. But you can check out my store over on Knickknacks as well. And I have probably a couple of hundred things listed there, both ephemera and glassware and china and all the other things that I sell. So it was like Christmas. It was better than Christmas. All right, so let me see what we want to run next. I don't see any requests yet. Wow, 55 people in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you are watching over on YouTube or Facebook, come on over to knickknacks.net. I printed this out so I wouldn't have to keep spelling it. Because I had somebody comment on my YouTube video that said, you said it was something like knack knocks or knock knock, or, and I said, no, knickknacks. So that keeps me from having to spell it every time. Hey, Jersey Boy Dano, welcome in. So let's go ahead and run. Let's just go ahead and see if there's any interest in any newspapers. That'll give me an idea of whether we want to run some more later on. So this here is a 1973 newspaper. Let me make sure I grab the right one, lot 4. And this is from when Lyndon Johnson died. So this is the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette from January 23rd, 1973. I will mention that this is only the front section of the paper. I mean, it said it was originally in 3 sections, but this is just like the section A. I feel like I need my pipe and my slippers, and I could lean back and read the paper, and my little glass of scotch. So, yeah, and I mean, I've actually done a lot of these and on other platforms by myself, Purple Haze. So it's just nice, like having Amy, it makes it nice because she can watch the chat. She can pull items and stuff. But, hey, I just have to slow down a little bit and go at my own pace. So I don't know if anybody needs to see inside. Let me just see if there's anything noteworthy in here. Let me turn this way and y'all can look over my shoulder. So it's got picture highlights of the life of Lyndon Johnson. So pretty much this whole front section's about Lyndon Johnson. It looks like you do get some local news from Pittsburgh in here. There's that old JCPenney ad. Jacques Pinois. Oh, wow. Look at this. Can you see that outfit? Very, very 70-ish there. And then you have a ad for Iceberg cigarettes. So we'll go ahead and get this one started. This will be another 15-second start. $6. As mentioned, free shipping to the U.S. So other than tax, what you bid is what you pay. And here we go. Lyndon Johnson dies. I think he he might have been president. I think he was president when I was born. Hey, thanks for the bid, D. Damone. Looks like we got 3 seconds left, and that will be coming your way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully everybody enjoys my laid-back style. I don't ever really get too excited, like emotional or excited about anything. I'm pretty much, this is how I always am. So, except when I'm watching Tennessee basketball or football games, then sometimes I get a little emotional. But all right, let's see, no request yet. So let's go ahead and bring up the next item. Let me just kind of randomly scroll to something. Let's do lot 14. This is from my last show, but we never got to it. So let me go ahead and run this. So this is, I don't know the exact year, but I had another photo similar that was males, and it was it was dated 1956, and it looked very similar to this one. And it was from the same place, the U.S. Naval Training Center in Bainbridge, Maryland. This is the 3rd Regiment, Company 133, and as you can see, it's a female regiment. You actually, I mean, it looks like they were, well, kind of integrated. You have one African-American lady holding the flag down here, and then everybody's signature on the back. Well, I don't know that it's everybody's, but a lot of people's signatures on the back and personal notes and such. It looked like this one belonged to Lucille Sanborn. I will mention this does have some wear. As you can see, it's kind of like, if I just hold it like this, it's got a little bit of a, like it was rolled up maybe at one time. There's also some, see if I can get up close enough, there's some creasing. So it's definitely not perfect, but a really cool piece nonetheless. Somebody did some musical notations on the back right there. All right, so here we go. This one is, So any of my stuff left over from the last show is going to be 30 seconds. So we'll have to be a little more patient while we let it run. I'm going to eventually get everything over to 15 seconds. So here we go on this one. The U.S. Naval Training Center Recruit Training Commander, RTC, Bainbridge, Maryland, 3rd Regiment Company 133. I assume the W stands for women, is what that stands for. But, and they look, I assume they're probably all like, in their 20s or maybe younger. I don't know. So 4 seconds left on that. All right, no interest there. And the good thing is, hopefully, even if y'all don't bet on anything, hopefully y'all enjoy looking at all this stuff as much as me. I love going to ephemera shows. There's been a few on knickknacks. Okay, hey, Brian, here you go. I printed this up just for you, but if you come over to knickknacks.net, that's where I'm selling. So, and when you get over to see, it's hard to say. When you get over to knickknacks.net, you just click on the live streams, and I'm the only one going right now, so you should be able to find me pretty easily. And you can watch it without creating an account. If you want to bid, you do have to create an account. So, welcome in, Grandma Sherry, Thrifting the Globe, and Brian. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm glad it's working. I didn't even check to see if it was working on YouTube or Facebook. I assume it is. And just real quick, I guess my one self-plug, go over to franklinhillventures.com. That has links to all my social media. Give me some follows over there. I'd appreciate it. I do have a YouTube channel, but I'll never do anything. I always have these like aspirations that I'm going to start doing stuff on YouTube, but it's just so time consuming, and it really takes away from like the other part of what I need to be doing, which is listing and selling stuff. So, all right. So let me go ahead and pick something else. And as I mentioned, if there's any requests, put those lot numbers in the chat and I'll jot them down and we'll get to those as soon as possible. Let's see. Let's do, it all looks so exciting. Let's see. Let's do lot. I'll save that one for later. Tell you what, we'll do lot 34. So let me move that one to the stage here. Let me grab it out of my Beno ephemera here. And just, is it working great for everybody with me front facing like this? Like I said, usually I'll go rear facing so I can put the camera down at the table. But I don't know, for whatever reason today I found it like being on camera, felt like being on camera. So there might be some things like magazines and things of that nature that will move. I'll move to the other view if we need to. So this is going to be a 1982 codicil to an 1896 will. So this was actually, if you look, it says this was the second codicil, hope I'm saying that right, to the will of Mrs. Elizabeth Flint, dated the 18th of February, 1902. So if we open this up, so I assume this is like the original little fastener here. And it does have this one piece that's in here that says, Dear Joseph, I remember that Herschel Slay, reading stuff from so long ago so hard. I mean, they have neat handwriting, but their script's just not what we're used to. So I struggle to read it sometime. But anyway, this says, this is the second codicil to my will of the 30th day of July, 1896. The first codicil bearing date the 15th day of August, 1896. So she's made two, I guess, changes or additions to her will. So, all right. And it's, let me just tell you how many pages, and then I'll tell you what, since this is 30 seconds, I'll go ahead and start it, and then we can talk about it while it runs. So here we go. So it's got one, well, not counting this little small page here, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and then a blank page on the back. So, but like old documents are some of my favorite things. One of the coolest, I bought a whole box of letters one time, and they were mostly like just kind of benign, letters from just people to people that weren't that exciting. but stuck in this box of letters, there was this letter from 1862 written from Tullahoma, Tennessee, which is not too far from me. And it was written by a Union Civil War soldier who was from Pennsylvania. I can't remember which Pennsylvania regiment he was in, but it was written on like Pennsylvania Railroad stationery, written by a person from Pennsylvania, written in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And it was like an 8-page letter back to his wife in Pennsylvania. And he was just talking about like kind of the day-to-day life in this Civil War camp. And, you know, how a lot of it was how bored he was, because he goes, they kept telling us we were going to like deploy to go here, and then we'd all get ready, and then they'd say, no, we're not going. And, you know, I think I'd rather be in the camp than out fighting the way they did in the Civil War. But in any case, I think I did an auction on that one on one of the online marketplaces. And I mean, it brought really good money, but it was so cool. And it took me forever to get through it reading it, because it was just hard to read. But anyway, yes, it was awesome, Candyland Curiosities. Hey, welcome in, Watson5111, Q Susie 4. Look over here at my laptop that I have so I can see what's I can't hardly see my phone. Fi and Beetle, appreciate y'all stopping by. I'll keep saying this throughout the show for anybody who's just coming in, but if you have any requests, take a look at what I have in the store, put that lot number in the chat, and I'll get right to it. And until then, we'll just keep rolling through some things. Let me see what we want to do next. Oh, let's do... Well, I guess I need to just pick something, because we'll try to get through as many things as we can over the next couple of hours, I guess. All right, so this is going to be lot 33, and these are going to be some cigar labels. They should be in here. 32, 33. So I'm going to pull these out and show them to you. So I don't know the exact age of these, but so here's the first one. This one says handmade Virtuola, 5-cent cigar. And as you can see on the back, you can see the embossing there. And then we have this fine looking fella, James Lewis. That's quite the coat he has on there. Very colorful. And once again, if you look on the back, you can see the embossing. Then you have this, I guess it's Hyler. You got the very early 1900s look, maybe 20s, somewhere in that time period. And there's the back of that one. And then this one I think was dated. Let me just look real quick. This one's 1903. It says copyright 1903 by the American Lithographic Company in New York. Titles and design owned by J.N.O.G. Spatz and Company in Reading, Pennsylvania. So here's this one. Looks kind of like a pilgrim, maybe. So you got those four, 15 seconds, $6 start, and here we go. Hey, welcome in, Betsy D. Sindiro Sim. And I'm the king of butchering names, so if I butcher your name, I apologize. It's always so hard when there's no capitalization or anything, trying to figure out where the the breaks are. Hey, Vintage of Louisiana, that's an easy one. All right, no interest there. If things get too slow, I can always play my nose flute. It's one of the few musical talents that I have. I got this talent from my dad. He was a world-class nose flautist, and I carry on the family tradition. I think I said it last show. I don't recommend sharing a nose flute, but stick around and maybe you'll hear that later. All right, let's see what's next. Purple Haze says yes. Most everybody else is probably going, no. Oh, let's see here. All right, let's go with lot 17. Let's see. I think that one's in here as well. Lot 18, yeah. So lot 17 is going to be an 1863 marriage certificate. So right in the middle of the Civil War, these people are getting married. And it's between Henry Grove and his wife, Elizabeth Flinchbach. 3rd day of March, 1863. So thing is super old. It's in really good condition. It does have a little bit of staining, as you can see there. If you look at the back, there's also just a little bit of staining. But it says it was signed by Daniel Gring. I don't know. He is the minister. You can see his signature down there. So we'll go ahead and get this one started. This one is a little more just because I think if it doesn't sell here, I'm going to put it on one of the other platforms I sell on. But I wanted to bring it here first and give somebody an opportunity to get it. So here we go. Hey, Cutie Cupie. Thanks for coming in. Fig Tree Discoveries. Appreciate you stopping by. Anybody else that I missed? I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And a lot of times when you join my shows, my wife Amy will be with me. But when I do these afternoon shows, I typically go solo. So welcome in, Sacktown Mom. Appreciate you stopping by. If anybody sees anything they want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat and I will get right to it. All right, let's go ahead and get back up to the top here. Uh-oh, what happened? Let me go back and go back in. My catalog's disappeared here. Uh-oh. Filter, oh, there we go. I don't know what happened. Let me filter auction. Okay. So let's go ahead and do lot 79. Let me add that one or move it to the stage. So this is going to be some antique trading cards, for lack of a better term. I mean, they don't have advertisements on them, but I guess you would still trade these things around. I would guess they're probably late 1800s, early 1900s. They're not dated. Well, hold on a second. No, that's the Bible verse. So they all have a Bible verse on it and different pictures of little girls among flowers. See if I can show it without getting the glare on there. But if you can see, they're all blank backs, so I won't show the backs. But they are called In His Name. I guess it was a series of cards. And if you look at the bottom, they all had a Bible verse on them. And there's 9 of these. So you got that one. And it looks like some of them have the same pictures, but they have different Bible verses. So like that's the same as the first picture, but it does have a different verse. And that one's different. There's the next one. They're all in pretty good condition. A few of them had a little bit of staining on the back, but this one doesn't have any staining on the back. This one says, I was trying to read the Bible verse, but it's so small. So just a couple more here, and then we'll start this one. This one will be 15 seconds and a $10 start for all 9 of them. So just a little over $1 a card. And as mentioned, if you're in the U.S., it's free shipping. Hey, the Moody Mommy. Another Tennessean is in the house. And here we go. Got all 9 of these biblical trading cards from either the, I would guess, the late 1800s or the early 1900s. All right, no interest there. Welcome in, Scarlo Magno, Aunt Penny, Kitschy Woman Lisa, Katie Busy. Appreciate you coming in. If you see anything you want me to run, put the lot number in the chat. Yeah, we are. Well, it is chillier here today. Of course, all our snow finally melted. We had 10 inches of snow, so that was crazy. And then it rained and melted all that, and now it's getting a little cold again. So not too bad though. I think it's in the high 30s, low 40s today. All right, let's try these here. So this is going to be a lot of checks and a bank statement from 1935, and they're from Sutter Creek, California, which, if my mind serves me correctly, was where gold was discovered in the U.S. So, or where the gold, I don't know if it's where it was discovered, but it's what started the gold rush in California over in Sutter Creek. So it looks like it's in the original envelope. I'm not sure when this was written on there, but it says Bank of Amador County in Jackson, California. And then it does have the original stamps, although where they ripped the envelope, you can only really see this stamp. And then if we look inside, so here's the check register. So let's see how much money they had. They had $5,837.87 in their account at the end of the month, which was probably quite a bit. And back in the day, and it was Brignoli Estate Company in Sutter Creek, California. So I'm not sure exactly what they did over there, but I would, I know the gold rush was in the 1800s, but so I won't show all these checks because they're all pretty similar, just different amounts. But there are, if you look in the description, I can't see the description on my phone, but I think I did put in there how many checks it was. So that just kind of give you a view of a few of them here. And then you have on the back, you got like where they stamped it for deposit and where it was canceled by the bank and such. So all that for an $8 start, 15 seconds, and here we go. Welcome in, Lori Thrist, DFW. Appreciate you coming in. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. I'm trying to think what I did this weekend. Did anybody else do anything exciting? Oh, I worked at my antique mall all weekend. So that was pretty much the extent of what I did. I usually work at my antique mall in Clinton, Tennessee, usually like 2 days a month, one Saturday and one Sunday, and this weekend happened to be my time to work. So, and speaking of getting warm, Moody Mommy, I am getting a little warm with the sweatshirt on. So give me just a second. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off, and stick it over here. Ooh, much better. It's kind of toasty down here. My wife likes to keep it a little warmer than I do in the house. So, but anyway. All right, so let's see what's next. Welcome in, Scottish Ann, Virtuin, anybody else that I've missed. I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee, doing all antique and vintage ephemera today. So if you like that, you've come to the right place. If you have any requests for anything, put the lot number in the chat and I'll get right to it. Otherwise, we'll just keep rolling through things, and I hope everybody's enjoying seeing what I have. Let's see, we ran that one. Let's go ahead and run lot 78. Let's see. So these are vintage arcade cards. I don't know exactly what year these are from. I would guess maybe the 40s, just based on how they look. But back in the day, you would put a penny in the arcade machine and you would get out different cards. They might be, these are fortune cards. They might be pictures of sports stars. They might be other humorous things. But there's 12 of these. There are a few duplicates. But these are all Your Fortune by Princess Haja. So like, for example, they all have like whatever the characters up top here. This one says, all persons existing inside and outside your house you must carefully examine. Beware of being hasty and rash. Destiny will give you the victory over all your enemies, by which you will excite the envy of others. Shortly, an unexpected inheritance will fall to your share. I hope this is true for me. With this money, you will acquire still more, and soon you will call great possessions your own. Till now, you had to bear up with many misfortunes and many a vexation. Yeah, I'm always having vexations in my life. But now fortune will richly devolve on you and not forsake you again. Let not others influence you, and act always after your first idea. So we have card 4, and we have card 5, and they're all blank on the back, so I won't show that. And we got card 6. So we've had 4, 5, and 6, and then there's card 8. And we got card 9. And we got card 10, card 11, and then another card 6, and another card 6. We got a couple of duplicates of card 6. There's another card 10, and then another card 8, and then an 11. So you're getting all 12 of those for a $6 start. How did I set this to 1 minute? And I can't change it, unfortunately, because it'll lock my phone up. So if I'd have noticed it was 1 minute, I would have started it. So let's go ahead and start it, and then we can just chat for a minute. So I can read somebody else's fortune if you want me to. Let's see. Let me go to one. So this one says, never expect complete satisfaction. Success runs along the lines of your endeavors, and you will never be long under any cloud. Much success will attend your endeavors, and your business will prosper. But be careful in the selections of friends. So I'm glad to know that my business is going to prosper. Hey, thanks for the bids. D. Damone, Virtuen, appreciate y'all bidding on those. Sorry for the long 60 seconds. I must have just hit the wrong thing when I was setting them up. I try to do mostly 15 seconds now. Anything I have left over from the last show is at 30 seconds. So, and yeah, and this one was just a mistake. So, hey, Finders Pickers Paper Mail. I take it from your name that you like ephemera, so welcome in. And thank you so much for the bids on that. And as I mentioned, everything should ship out tomorrow. So some of you, depending on where you live, well, most everybody, unless you live in Canada, should probably have your stuff by the end of the week at the latest. All right. And as I mentioned, if there's any requests, just let me know and I will get right to them. Otherwise, we'll just keep rolling through this stuff. So let's go ahead and tell you what, while we are doing arcade cards, we'll just do the next lot of these that I have. And these are going to be behind your back arcade cards. This is slide 72. So these are more fall under the humor, I guess the humor category. And I think all these are different, but there's 6 of them. So they have this look, and these were dated. They're 1945 from the Exhibit Supply Company of Chicago. And if you start collecting these arcade cards, Exhibit Supply Company makes a bunch of them. In fact, almost all the ones that I've ever had have been made by them. But this one says, and you can see the big ears for the gossip here, says, behind your back, your friends and acquaintances are saying that you are a guzzler and John Barleycorn is making a fool out of you. You drink enough to fill a hollow leg and always smell like you had fallen into a vat, but you've never learned how to hold it, drizzlepuss, or drizzlepuss. Let's see. Let's read. Maybe I'll show them to you real quick. Here's one. Behind your back, your friends and acquaintances are saying that you are a tightwad and always looking to get something for nothing. The only thing you ever spend is time and always somebody else's. As a social success, you are a #1 flop. A whispering campaign behind your back says you are a rounder, a rube, and a deceitful duck. Just a faithless to all and faithful to none type. You're a deliberate heartbreaker. Hopefully I'm not describing anybody out there. I apologize if I am. This one says you were a past master at the art of pulling fade outs. You were a foul ball and a cheapskate. It also says, and then this one, the last one here says it's going around that you were just a big good time Charlie, always getting stuck to pay bills and getting nothing in return except a slap on the back or a no good promise. Get wise, stop lending your money and letting people use you. So we got these 6 here, and we'll go ahead and start them. These are for 15 seconds, so these will go quick. So here we go. Hey, welcome in, Wise Wilson Janice. Virtue In comes in for $5 for the 1945 arcade cards. Yeah, these are cool. All right, thank you so much. I will stick that with your other item over here. All right, let's try. Oh, I guess I got to do it from here. I'm used to being able to run my show from 2 different devices, but it's only one on this platform. So let's try. Tell you what, let's try these. These are just really cool. They do have a higher starting bid, but there are 20 Denison, and if you remember Denison, they made like all these die cut types of things for schools and such. So they might make you might see airplanes or buses or different transportation things or just all kind of learning tools. But these all happen to be Disney characters. They have been laminated, so they probably came out of somebody's classroom, would be my guess. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you like those, and I'm glad they're going to somewhere where they'll be appreciated. So does anybody know what this bear's name is? I think it's from Dumbo, now that I think about it. Pretty sure he was like a Dumbo character. Then we have Pluto. And then Donald Duck. You can get an idea. I mean, they're all about the size of my head. So then you got Mickey. And then here's a Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. This one does have, if you can see, it looks like it was probably stapled to a bulletin board. So you have 2 staple holes there. You have a few accessories. I think this is Mary Poppins' umbrella, because Mary Poppins is in here somewhere. There's one of, so you might know if that's Huey, Dewey, or Louie. I'm not sure which one it is. It's one of the 3 nephews of Donald Duck. Then we have Pinocchio, and I think the cat's name was Figaro. Is that correct? I think it's Figaro. Welcome in, Maura. Sharpie Mom 12, appreciate you coming in. There's one of the 3 little pigs. And I believe that's Thumper. It's pretty much a who's who of Disney characters here. And you got Peter Pan. Figaro, I was right. I have 4 kids, and they're all grown now, so we watched a lot of Disney movies. There's Dumbo and Timothy, right? I think I got that one right, too. And there's Bambi. This one does have, well, it's got a little crease, but it's not folding, so it may have been creased before it was laminated. And then you have Tinkerbell. And there are a few of these. I haven't been pointing it out on every one. Like you can see her little staple hole there. So where they were stapled to the bulletin board, I suppose. Here's Geppetto playing his accordion. Probably should have showed him by character groups, but there's Winnie the Pooh. Did anybody see the Winnie the Pooh horror movie where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet were killing everybody? There's a balloon. I assume that's a Pooh, maybe? A Pooh accessory. Okay, here's the other 2 nephews. So we have Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I'm not sure which one's which, but we have all 3 of the nephews. Then we have Jiminy Cricket. And then Goofy. And then Mary Poppins. And we saw her umbrella earlier. And then one more accessory. This looks like a magic wand. I don't remember seeing like the fairy godmother or anything, but it's somebody. Oh, Tinkerbell probably. I bet that's Tinkerbell's wand. So all 20 of these, I started at $20, which is just $1 a piece. I thought that sounded very fair. My guess is they're worth quite a bit more than that. So all 20 of these, just 15 seconds. So if you're interested, jump in. Welcome in, Glassman Pimp. And here we go. It's for all 20 of the Disney die cuts. All right, Purple Haze. These looks like they're going to be heading north to Canada. All right, they are coming your way. Congratulations, and I really appreciate it. Get them back in the bag here. All right, those will all be coming to British Columbia. About as far away from me as you can get. I do have a daughter who lives in Vancouver, Washington, so she's not too far from British Columbia, I don't guess, or at least a lot closer than I am. So you are welcome. All right, let's see what we're going to run next. Oh, let's go ahead and try. Let's see, those sold. Trying to make sure I pick stuff that has not, I haven't already run. So let's go and do lot 59. See if anybody likes like billhead, letterhead type of things. Let's see, that one was 59. All right, so this is going to be 2 letterhead pages. I think they're both from the early 1900s. This one's actually from British Columbia. Isn't that funny? This is the Cunningham Hardware Company in New Westminster, British Columbia. It's dated March 6, 1902. It says, gentlemen, please quote us the best export jobbers discounts you can name us on your line of bells and oblige. So you got that one. And then the next one is the Van Camp Hardware and Iron Company in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I always love the artwork on all these old billheads and letterheads. This one, I guess that's their main headquarters. And this one is from May 8th, 1916. And it says, we ask that you kindly send us one of your recent catalogs and quote us your extreme jobbing prices on handbells, call bells, and stock bells. We are herewith enclosing catalog page and would be pleased to have you send us illustrations given your numbers, which we will compare with ours. So you got those 2 letterheads, one from British Columbia, one from Indianapolis, and here we go. Hey, Rusty Mermaid 57, thanks for stopping in. Anybody else that I missed, appreciate you coming in. I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I'm here in the great state of Tennessee in Knoxville, over on the east side of the state, right in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. And this is my second Knickknacks show. I've actually been doing live streams for a couple of years now on another platform and have been selling like online since I think my eBay store says that I started in 1998. So I've been doing it a pretty good while. We really started out with my wife selling buying and selling kids' clothes on there. We were poor and couldn't afford like most clothes, so we would get them all from yard sales or a few online. Of course, that was back in the day when it wasn't easy to list like it is now. You had to. I'm thinking you either didn't put pictures and just described it the best you could, or you had to scan in pictures and somehow get them in that way. It was a lot different than it is now. So let's see what we want to run next. Let's see, that one's sold. Let's try this one. So this is going to be lot 54. This is going to be a vintage ink blotter. And if you don't know what an ink blotter is, back when they used to use fountain pens, you know, they wouldn't dry right away. So they would use the backs of these, and you can see where they've actually blotted something and it leaves kind of an image. This one appears to have only been used maybe a time or two, because a lot of times you get these and like the whole backs, you know, kind of messed up from how often it was used. But, you know, these would sit on the counter, and if they wrote something, then they would, you know, use it to blot the ink. And they would always have, or not always, but typically have advertising on the front. So this one is from the Metropolitan Coal Company in Boston, Massachusetts. And it says the largest retailers of coal in New England, and they have branches in every section of Greater Boston. This one, let's see if it's got a date, 1925, Brown and Bigelow, St. Paul, Minnesota. So this is from 1925, the cool advertising piece on the ink blotter. So we'll go ahead and start this one, and here we go. And the cute little boy and girl on the swing there. So where's everybody from? I know we have some Tennesseans. I know we have some Canadians. What other states do we have represented in here today? And for anybody who's just joined, if you see something you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat. Yeah, Texas, Michigan. I have a daughter who lives in Texas. I've got kids scattered hither and yon. Got the one daughter in Vancouver, Washington. Then I have a daughter in Spring, Texas, just outside of Houston. So used to go to Michigan a lot when I worked in outside the house job. I would go to Detroit and Grand Rapids quite a bit. And then also North Ottawa, which was awesome, going up there on the west coast of Michigan, more in the upstate. It was so pretty up there. Redondo Beach, California. I don't know that I've been to Redondo Beach. I used to go out to Tustin a lot for work back in the day. So, hey, welcome in, Sunshine Crew. We are doing antique and vintage ephemera today. Still have quite a bit of stuff in the catalog, so if anybody sees anything they want me to run, just put that lot number in the chat, and we will get right to it. Let's see. Let me pick out. Let's try lot 49. So lot 49 is, maybe it's over here. It's post. Oh, here they are. I didn't put them in my thing. They're just in a Ziploc bag. All right, so these are going to be 7 hand-tinted postcards from Holland. They're all unused, I believe. And it says, you gave and Sealtil, I guess it's the name of the company. I'm sure I butchered that, but see if I can get the glare off of it. But I'll show this one, and then we'll just look at the fronts of the others. Hey, Magpie Thrifting, welcome in. So these are all different scenes from Holland. Try to keep the glare off. They are in postcard sleeves. So you got, looks like a family. Got, I think that's 4 girls. We had 3 girls and a boy, so looks like a mother and daughter walking along the canal. You can see all the tulips in the background. I'm not sure. Just a boat on the ocean, and you have the inset picture here. Wow, that's some cool furniture. Does anybody else do what anytime I watch TV or look at anything, I'm always like looking at the stuff in the background thinking, I could sell that, or that's cool. I'd love to have that in my house. But yeah, that's can't tell if that's a dresser with a mirror or a bar or what it is, but it's very cool. And then here they are, I guess, playing Ring Around the Rosie, maybe. Once again, sorry for the glare. And then here's another one on the banks of a canal, it looks like, with their houses in the background. And then finally, looks like they're in the kitchen, maybe. I'm not sure what that is up at the top. I can't tell. So anyway, you're getting all 7 of those. And we'll go ahead and get that one started. Here we go. I don't know exactly what year these are from. I would guess maybe, mid-century, sometime slightly before that. All right, no interest there. I appreciate 33 of you sticking with me and spending part of your afternoon on this Monday with me. Just real quick, if you're watching over on Facebook or YouTube, you can come over to knickknacks.net there, and you can join in on the fun if you want to bid on anything. I think you do have to register and put in a payment method, but that doesn't take very long. Oh yeah, the sign I made. I just last show I kept having to spell it, so I thought, I'll just make a sign, then I can just hold it up. So I don't know. Seemed like it was easier than having to go nikknax.net 100 times during the show. All right, let's see what we want to run next. Let's try this. So this is lot 32. Put that's in here. Yeah, so this is, I guess it's just a little souvenir booklet from Palm Beach, Florida. And they aren't postcards because the pages are not it's not postcard material, but they have what looks like postcard. And this is by Kurt Teach and Company in Chicago. So on the back, you have the Whitehall in Palm Beach. Then you have a couple of views on the front. And then inside of this, you have a little bit of the, I guess, history of Palm Beach. This is one of those. It might have been easier to show this one with the camera the other way, but we'll make it work. And then you have, they look like postcard views, but they're just on paper. And so there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pages of these different views of Palm Beach. So you have beach views and house views, and let's see if there's anything. You got some old pictures of old cars in here. Yeah, so like here's one that's got an old car. So based on that car, I would got, what got me into ephemera? I'm really not sure at what point I started liking ephemera so much. So when I was a kid, I was really into sports cards. I mean, my mom bought my brothers and I our first baseball cards in 1973. And then that started a love affair with sports cards up until I got to college, and then just right after college. And I won't go into why I don't like sports cards as much anymore, but they're not, I still have some, but they're not my favorite. I always collected stamps when I was a kid. So I've got a really extensive stamp collection, which, talking about an older skewing hobby, it's like postcards are kind of making a comeback. You have a lot of younger people getting into that. Stamps, though, they're just, I don't know that many people collect them anymore. I always collected matchbooks when I was a kid. Don't laugh at this, but I collected sugar packets because it's not like today where you have just like pink, blue, and white on the table. they would have all kind of like ones with presidents and birds and all this. So I basically collected everything. And I don't know, just it's probably been 5 or 6 years ago. I came across like a big bunch of postcards, and then after that, some letters, and I just really got into it at that point. And um, now it's kind of my favorite thing I collect and sell. I don't know that it's what I sell most of, because outside of these live shows, I don't sell as much ephemera as I do like hard goods and stuff. But I don't know. It's just, I've always liked, I guess, stuff like that my whole life. But just, 10 years ago, I started getting back into it. So, anyway, so we have this souvenir booklet of Palm Beaches, Florida. We'll go ahead and start this one. And here we go. Yeah. And I mean, I mean, so my wife and I joke, because when we got married, I mean, she threw out my sugar packet collection. She's like, nobody needs to collect sugar packets. But um, so, I was pretty much a pack rat back in the day. But it's funny, like reselling in general. I mean, I started that pretty early too. When I was in middle school, I caught the bus at a convenience store, and I would stop and buy like a whole like case of blow pops, and then I would take them to school and sell them. And I would get my mom to make brownies, and just regular brownies, and take those to school and sell them. And so I was, kind of selling stuff from a very young age. And then, and having two brothers, they both do reselling as well. And we're real competitive. We're real competitive on that, as far as like, in fact, we had a brothers weekend this summer. We're going to start making it an annual event where we rented a house on a little lake, or not a little lake, rented a house on the lake, a little house on the lake, and spent all day Saturday going yard selling. We were kind of halfway between Knoxville and Chattanooga, so we ended up going down Chattanooga way, since we don't make it down there very often. And then we ended up like having a contest to see who sold the most, and I'll have to say I won, basically mainly based on this. And let me know if I'm boring anybody with these stories, but one of the things I found is that it was this, there were two pages from a 1611 King James Bible, and they were framed. And that Bible's like, I mean, they were really, really big pages. And so this one house we went to had a lot of artwork, and I mean, I had no idea it was worth a lot. I just thought it was cool. So I was like, how much for this here? And they said $10. Of course, I always have to negotiate. I'm like, will you take $5? And they're like, sure. So I got it for $5. And, when I got home and started doing some research, I thought, well, I might be able to get 100 or so for this. And so if I would have taken it to my booth, that's what I would have put 125 on it most likely. But I thought, I don't have much room at my booth, and I actually had an appointment at an auction house to take some things there. So I took it to the auction house, and make a long story short, it ended up selling for $650, which, to be honest, I think that's above market value. Just all the research I did, but all it takes is, two people to start bidding on something. But I was sitting there refreshing my browser, going, wow, when it got to like 150, I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't take it to the booth. And then it just kept going up and up and up. And then I fell asleep before the bidding ended, and it was like 375 when I fell asleep. And on that auction site, you couldn't go back in and see what it sold for. So I literally had to wait till I got my check. And I was like, wow, this went for a whole lot more than I thought it would. So anyway, the point of all that was to say I pretty much blew both my brothers out of the water for the whole weekend, and won the contest. So, but we're already planning another one to go back, hopefully rent the same house we did last year, and do it again in the spring or summer. So looking forward to that. All right, let's see, what time is it? 2:08. So, I mean, I'll go as long as y'all want to. I'll go to at least 2:30, but if you have requests and want me to go longer, I will. I know another show started at 2:00, so when I finish, maybe we'll go raid that one. But yeah, if anybody has any requests for anything that you see, either that I've already run or that I haven't run, just put the lot number in the chat and we'll get right to it. Otherwise, I'll just pick a few more lots, and we'll keep going. So, but I appreciate everybody so much stopping by the show today. so far I'm loving knickknacks. This is my second show. I've sold a ton on, other live stream platforms, but so far I really like the way these shows flow. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's try this postcard here. I like this. So this is lot 29. Let me see where that is. It's right here. I'll just take this one out of the postcard sleeve to show it. So this is an RPPC, very, very good condition of this baby here. I looked to see, I did not see any mother's arms coming out. So for anybody who doesn't know what that is, a lot of times they're called hidden mothers. And, you'll see blankets or stuff draped around, and that's where the mom's holding the baby up. Sometimes you can actually see their hand. This one looks like, I don't see any evidence of anything. In fact, sometimes you'll even find post-mortem baby cards, where they've posed them like they were still alive and taken a picture. This one's pretty obviously not. And then you can also date real photo postcards usually by this lettering around where you place the postage stamp. So for example, these are AZO cards. And if you just Google, how old is my real photo postcard, then, you can find a number of sites that will give you like these pictures of these and tell you when they were made. Based on what I found on this one, it was made between 1904 and 1918. The only vintage greeting cards I have a birthday card that's probably from the 20s. I'll show them to you in a second. Then I do have a miscellaneous card lot that are more like from the 1980s though. So anyway, we'll go ahead and run this RPPC of this baby circa 1904 to 1918. And here we go. Hey, Afro Beauty, welcome in. I see a few names that I recognize. All right, no interest in that. And then is there any interest? I have one more real photo postcard that's of a World War I soldier. If anybody wants me to run that one, just let me know. It's this one here. So I'll tell you what, I pulled it over here, so we'll just run it. Might as well. And that one's lot 13. Let me go ahead and move it to the stage. So this one's in pretty good condition. It does have a little bit of staining on it. According to this design around the postage stamp, this one was made sometime between like 1910 and 1928, I believe it was. But just with the subject matter, it's most likely the 1910s. Does look like a World War I uniform. Not sure what they're standing in front of, what that is in the background. But so you have that one there, and we'll go ahead and start it. Another 15 seconds, $6 start, and here we go. All right, no interest there. Yeah, so hopefully everybody's enjoyed my stories. I can tell a lot of stories. I've got, but as I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, that's one thing I like about ephemera so much is it just lends itself to storytelling. A lot more so than glassware. And certainly glassware can have stories as well, but just to read a letter or look at a photo or whatever it might be, the stories that whether you either know the story or you can weave a story around it. I would never be one to lie, but you can still I guess romanticize the stuff you're selling. So anyway, so yeah, the only greeting cards I have, let's see. Well, I do have, no, never, well, let's see. No, those aren't greeting cards. I have some die cuts, but they're not greeting cards. Those are postcards. And here's like the big lot of greeting cards that I have. If you were interested in these, I mean, like I said, they're from the 80s, but there are a lot of them in there. Yeah, let me show you these die cuts. They're really cool. Let me see if I can find them in the catalog real quick. Yeah, for anybody just coming in, my biggest challenge is I can't use my keyboard on my phone because it locks my live stream up. I've been working with district support to try to figure out why. But until then, I just have to scroll because as soon as I try to type something to search, it just freezes my phone. So let me find this real quick. There they are. That wasn't too bad. So I love one of these especially. I mean, I guess they're all cool, but so I'll start with, actually it's just, yeah, there's 3 of them. So I'll start with the first 2 that are, I mean, they're cool, but not as cool as the last one. So this is just a little, it says tribute of love. And it's like a hand holding a flower bouquet. And then you have this one here, and it's got something written on the back. I'll show you that. And I can't tell, I mean, I can't tell if the hand's been torn off or if it didn't have a hand. I mean, I tried to look and see. It's the way it's cut, it doesn't necessarily look like it was ripped off. So I don't know. And then on the back, I don't know if anybody can read that. I couldn't. But it says, I really can't tell. So, but that's what it says. So here's the one that's really cool. So it's this buffalo die cut, and it's like metallic silver colored, but it's just paper. It's not metal. This one does have, like, if you look here, it does have a little, like one of the, I mean, it's not missing anything, but it's just been torn right there. And it says, let's see, this one did. So I don't know what, and actually I posted this on the Help Me Identify This on Knickknacks, and nobody seemed to know, but it has a number and then some yards. I guess they're yards. Let me see if you can see them. So down here in red, it's number 204. You can see that. And then it says 24 yards. So I don't know if it's like has to do with yarn or what. Does anybody have any ideas? But in any case, it's a very cool die cut buffalo. I haven't ever seen like a die cut exactly like that. So you're going to fit on all 3 of these. You got the buffalo, the baby, and then the hand holding the flowers. So, and here we go. And this one is 30 seconds since it's leftover. I didn't get to it in my last auction. And I figured, I mean, I started at $8. That seemed fair because I think if I don't sell them here, I'll probably just take this buffalo and try to do something with it separately because I don't know. I just love it. But anyway. All right, Purple Haze is going to take those. Huh, that's weird. I mean, I'm glad you got these for $6. It said the starting bid was 8, so maybe there's a little glitch in Knickknacks, but no worries on that. Let's make sure I can get it in here with. All right, those are coming your way. You are so welcome. Stick those with your other ones. Did you have any interest in seeing these greeting cards? I know they're a little newer. I mean, like I said, I think they're mostly 80s, maybe with a few 70s thrown in. There are a lot of them, so let me know if you want to see those. All right, 218. We'll go ahead and run a few more things. And if for anybody who's just come in, if you have any requests at all, just let me know. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to run this because this will be fun to look at. I think I will have to turn the camera down for this one though. So let me go ahead and move to stage. Oh, the birthday card. Yeah, I will look at that one next. It's just like a single card. So I just think this is extremely cool here. It's a scrapbook. Tell you what, I'm going to have to, I can't really show that one. Give me just a second. Get this off the tripod, stick this in here, flip the camera. So I actually got these in an estate sale, and I got like 20 of them. And these people I think they were military is what the guy told me. And they traveled extensively and actually sold a couple of these albums already on other marketplaces, but thought I'd bring one of these to Knickknacks anyway. And they have the cool, I don't know, like the spider web, if you can see that, divider pages. So in each of these books, these appear to be something they drew, but they drew a map of the wherever they were. And this one happens to be France, Luxembourg, and Switzerland. And then there are all these little souvenir photos. So they didn't take these photos themselves. You would buy the little photo packets in each country, and then they put them all in the scrapbook. And if we were to take one out, I'm not going to because they're hard to, on the back, it would basically have written what was printed here. But I think the ones I've sold were like Italy and Paris. I can't remember exactly. But so they were in Reims on September 17th, 1949. And all the dividing pages are in really good condition. And then, so here's more scenes from that city. So it moves through their entire trip. And then here's when they were in Paris. And it's from September 17th, 18th, and 19th, 1949. You got the Eiffel Tower. Some cathedrals, it looks like. There's Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, as we say here. So you got all these are Paris. So they got a lot from Paris. And then we move over to Fontainebleau, I think is how you say it. I am terrible with like foreign languages. I mean, I speak Tennessee, and that's, about the best I do. So you got those. Look at the palaces here. Wow. I would love to go see that stuff. I had two of my daughters. They did I don't know if anybody's heard of, I've gone blank on the name now. The pilgrimage hike in Spain. Anyway, it's like 500 miles, and they started in France, and they ended up at the cathedral down in southern Spain, and they saw all these big cathedrals and Camino de Santiago. Thank you so much. Yes, they did the Camino de Santiago. That was the summer before last. So they did 500 miles in 35 days or so. And then this last summer, they went and did the Tour de Mont Blanc, which is, I think, France, Italy, Switzerland, maybe. And that was 103 miles, and they did that in about 10 days. So they're big hikers. But I am in Knoxville, Ricky. So this one was Luxembourg here. And I think I put, if you look in the description, I think I put exactly how many photos there are. I believe it's 30 pages. As I mentioned, I can't see it. I don't see the description on my side, but it does. I did put that in the description. There's Geneva, which I guess is maybe Geneva, Switzerland. But yeah, just tons of photos of their trip. There's Zurich. That was September 23rd and 24th of 1949, and then June 18th and 19th of 1950. Looks like they went to Zurich several times. Oh, okay. I used to live in Brentwood. Well, I lived in Nashville for almost 20 years, and I was in Old Hickory for a while, and then Brentwood. And then when we moved from Nashville, I was in Spring Hill, so down a little further south than you. Here's Basil, June 18th, 1950. And then you get to Lugano, and they actually got color photos for this one. And then here's Gothard. And then St. Moritz. This would have been like a dream trip. I bet it was incredible. Look how pretty the Swiss Alps are there. And I don't know what all cities my daughters went through when they were there. So, and then there's some more. And let's see if there's, I can't remember if there's one more city or not, or if that's it. I guess that's it. And then it's still got the original tag that was in the photo album here, or the scrapbook. So anyway, we will do this. It is a $25 start. Something fell over there. Oh, thank you for coming in, Meriwether Market. One of our esteemed moderators for the whole Knickknacks platform, and you do a really good job. I mean, you have the patience of Job to, the Knickknacks platform's good, but they're still just dealing with that many people. Has to be not always easy. So, all right, here we go. We're going to start it right now. And just a reminder, everything in the USA is free shipping. So whatever you bid, that's what you'll get it for. If you're in Canada, it's $12.99, then plus $1 for each item after that. And here we go. So yeah, lots of cool photographic images in here. Yes, it is a nice album. I mean, like I said, these people traveled all over the place because, I have about 20 of these things. Well, I don't have 20 left now. That's how many I originally got. So, oh, you know why Purple Haze? Because I think this is the one item I put calculated shipping on. But with the other things you bought, I would have refunded any difference. But yeah, on this, I couldn't have guaranteed it would have been any cheaper because it is pretty heavy. So yeah, I forgot about that. This one item, I did do calculated shipping to Canada. I just couldn't afford the free shipping. So, oh, you know what? I did flat rate shipping, but that's the charge. So yeah, if you had bid on that, what would have ended up happening? You probably would have paid the $28, and then I would have refunded everything else. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let me see if I can find that one little birthday card real quick. Let me see what lot number it is. And then it's almost 2:30. So unless there's request, we'll probably call it a day here pretty soon. So if anybody who's here wants to take a last look in the catalog and see if there's anything they want me to run. Okay, so here we go. Lot 37. I think it is. No, lot 39. Let me pull this one out. Yeah, so this card here would actually be able to be used because it has not been written on. It does not have an envelope with it. But if you were looking to give somebody a vintage birthday card, well, if somebody had a wife was looking to give somebody a vintage birthday card, because it is birthday greetings to my wife, and it's got the ribbon here. This thing's in like mint condition. I don't know if all this is like hand colored or not, but you can see it's got roses and then like a meadow scene maybe. And then on the back, you have the maker, which is Buzza, and it's got 1927 as the date. And this is, I don't know, it's a thick cardstock. But it says, "There's something that's nice about everyone, dear, but there's everything nice about you. In all that you say, there's gladness and cheer, and there's kindness in all that you do. You're always so friendly, so sweet, so sincere. Yes, there's everything nice about you." Maybe I should have kept this to give it to Amy, but oh well. All right, here we go. Yes, I will raid into her as soon as we finish. And here we go on this one. Thank you, Purple Haze. Yeah, and let me know when you get, well, of course, I can see the tracking. I'm hoping that stuff shows up today or tomorrow. Like I said, it made it to Canada, so that's a good sign. Thank you so much. All right, so is there anything else that anybody wants to see before we end it up? Or let me see if there's anything I'm just dying to show here real quick. No, I don't. If there's no request, I guess we'll end it and then do our raid here in a second. Let me get my tripod back out and flip it back around so I can properly say goodbye to everybody. All right. So yeah, as for anybody who was late coming in, my name's Stuart. I'm with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you're ever coming through town, make sure you stop by and visit us at our antique booths, which we have 3 of them here in the Knoxville area. We are at Beard and Antique Mall, West End Antiques, and then we're at Granny's Attic in Clinton, Tennessee. And you may or may not run into me. I'm actually at them quite a bit, putting stuff out, rearranging the booth, all those good things. You can visit franklinhillventures.com. That has links to our social media, Instagram, Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, but I don't do as much on there as I should. So appreciate any follows on any of those platforms. Other than that, hey, welcome in Hidden House Store. We're just wrapping up. If you want to take a quick look in the catalog, see if you see anything you want me to run. Sure, I'll put one of my business cards in, Purple Haze. So, hope you got some good stuff. Was it an in-person auction or like online? I miss in-person auctions. Pretty much here in Knoxville where I live, and I don't know what everybody else's experience is. Once COVID hit, our in-person auctions pretty much went away. It's, I mean, COVID was not funny, but it was funny during COVID. So I can remember like the last in-person auction I went to. It was, right when COVID was hitting, and they made an announcement. Hey, we're going to have to be closed, but it'd only be for a couple of weeks. We got to let this COVID stuff blow over, and then we'll open right back up. Of course, obviously that didn't happen, and fortunately for them, they had run in like a jewelry only online auction a couple of weeks before. So they had the infrastructure set up. So they were able to, I think they took a week off, and then they were immediately able to start doing some online auctions. So I can remember I won some stuff at one of the online auctions and went to pick it up. And I asked Greg, who owns the auction house, I said, so, when do you think you'll do another in-person auction? He said, well, it is going to be longer than we thought, but, we're going to go back to in-person auctions. We may do maybe split them like 2 a week, or 2 a month in person, 2 a week online. So then I remember like a couple of weeks went by, I went back again. And then he was like, well, now we're thinking about maybe just doing one in-person auction a month and everything else will be online. Then the next time I won something to win, he goes, we're never going to do an in-person auction again. He said, our overhead's so much cheaper. We don't have to pay an auctioneer. We don't have to pay runners. The bids go a lot higher because instead of 100 people in the room, you've got the internet, your audience. So I really miss I completely get why they did it because it is better for them. And and I've consigned some stuff with them and I've done really well like that, those New Testament pages from the 1611 Bible I was telling you about. But I really do miss, that's how I really got back into reselling is I remember going to the auction house here in Knoxville, and the very first one I went to, they did back then. They would do the box lots last. So by the time they did the box lots, sometime it'd be 11:30 at night, and it'd only be like me and six other people there. So, they would bring up a box lot, and if it didn't bid, they'd throw it on a table. Then they'd bring up another one. If nobody bid, they'd throw it on the table. And of course, everybody knew that if you didn't bid, they'd build a whole table. Then they'd auction the whole table off. And I can remember I came home literally with like 37 boxes of stuff, crammed in my car. And from that moment on, I was hooked. Now, later they figured out we needed to do box lots first and some other things. But yeah, that was kind of my like getting back into reselling big time with vintage stuff, is buying all these box lots. So, but yeah, it is fun in person, and I really miss it. So, my wife and I, that's one thing. We would go to 3 auctions every week. We would go to two in Maryville, which is just south of Knoxville, and then the one that I was just talking about. And they're all gone. I mean, the two in Maryville, the people who owned them died, and they didn't reopen. And then the other one went online only when COVID hit. And it is a lot harder to find value, I think, with online auctions. I still buy a lot, but not near as much as I used to. I would say my number one sourcing outlet now is just relationships I've built. I mean, from giving my cards out at my antique booths and just people I've met, because I've been doing it so long. I get calls all the time now, hey, can you come look at stuff at my grandmother's house? Or, my parents passed away or whatever. So I get a lot of what I would call almost like private picking, sourcing opportunities. So relationships are just so key in this business, and especially even more so post-COVID than pre-COVID. So anyway, well, I've rambled on enough. I'm sure everybody's tired of listening to me talk. Hey, Tracy, TMD 1962. Thanks for stopping by. I'm actually getting ready to finish up and raid over to the other person running the show right now. But I do appreciate you stopping by, and tell Lillian I said hi if she's not there with you. So anyway, everybody have a great rest of your Monday. I am not sure when I'll do my next show on here. I'm going to try to get into a routine. I mean, I'm not going to do multiple shows a week or even probably a show every week. I'll probably do like every other week. I find that when I do too many live streams, I end up spending so much time focused on the live streams that I ignore my other stuff that I don't need to be doing. So I'll probably try to do like a every other week type of show. And I'm still playing around with the time frame between afternoon and night. So anyway, everybody have a great day. Hang with me just a second. Let's go ahead and get this raid going, and we'll see y'all next time.